the advice you were given about Bitcoin and crypto and then the election with Trump, dude. I know a lot of my listeners are probably like, what?
For the last 72 hours is like Donald Trump becoming president, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Biden and his administration and Gary Gensler. I have strong words for Gary Gensler. Their entire administration was very anti-crypto. And they can say they weren't anti-crypto, but their actions said otherwise.
Yeah.
They were attacking crypto more than any administration had before. The Democratic Party generally hates things they can't control.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Level Up Podcast. I'm Paul Alex, and I have a special guest, guys. His name is Ryan Myher. He's actually a serial entrepreneur, been a serial entrepreneur since the age of 10, has actually founded 3 different companies, and now is the co-founder of Genius, which is a crypto exchange, right?
Yes, more or less. more or less, yes.
It's a crypto exchange business, guys, and he's going to dive into exactly why you guys need to invest into crypto right now. It's amazing. Ryan, what's up, brother?
I'm not going to show you crypto, I promise. It's good. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, thank you, man. It's actually a blessing that Colin, connected us because, dude, just based on everything you told me, I'm super excited for this interview. It's going to be awesome. A ton of people are going to listen to it. A lot of people are going to get inspired. But share us your background, dude. Where are you from? How you got into serial entrepreneurship? And then what are you working on right now?
Yeah. So basically started off in central Pennsylvania, a small town called Johnstown, Pennsylvania, an hour and a half east of Pittsburgh, and just like a coal miner town, nothing crazy, and just always kind of loved the hustle, more or less. So, whether that be selling people cards, I was one of the early Facebook marketplace sellers, and always enjoyed just like trying to figure things out. And then I really got interested in technology probably whenever I was like 15 or 16. And this is kind of foreshadowing, but I was always looking for a way to build apps without code. It was just like always a passion of mine. And we kind of graduated high school, went to Duquesne University to do track. And that's whenever like things really started moving.
Yeah.
And so kind of the first business that I started was a company called No Code, No Problem. And it was like the first like kind of, my real step into entrepreneurship at the time. Yeah.
Dude, I love that. So let's rewind a little bit back, Ryan.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 2016, I want to say.
Okay, so 2016, and how old were you then?
I was 16, I think.
Damn,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I feel old,
Yeah.
bro. 2014, I joined Police Academy. I was 26, so like 10 years. Oh, man, that's crazy. But anyways, okay.
Yeah.
So, dude, you're in the middle of the digital marketing realm. 2016 was a phenomenal time to be in the online space.
Yeah.
What made you think of Facebook Marketplace?
I was messing around with Amazon quite a bit, and I was like, my mind was blown that I could order anything to my house. A funny side story was I ordered a sword to my house, and I was at basketball because I was like, oh, you can just buy a sword online. Like, this is really cool. And so I ordered it to my house, and I'm at basketball practice, and I get a call from my mom, and she's like, what is this? Like, what did you order from something cutlery? And I was like, oh, well, like, I'll open it when I'm home. Don't worry about it. So I get home and I unbox this like sword with like these insane edges. And my mom was so pissed off. My dad's standing in the corner, like laughing. And so anyway, so I was like enamored that you could order anything online. Facebook launches Facebook Marketplace, and I had a bunch of old stuff, and I was like, oh, a bunch of people were selling stuff on here. Let me see if I can sell something. And so I start selling things, mostly just like old knacks, things I got from Christmas that I never used, and things like that. And then I realized, I was like, wow, like this could be a money generating thing. And all my friends were like joking about it. They're like, oh, like my name in high school, or my nickname in high school was Ray J. Which we don't want to get into that. We don't want to get it. But,
I love that.
So they would joke around and say it's Ray's Thrift, because I was like thrifting a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And then they had me selling their stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and it kind of grew from there. And so I was making a couple $1,000s a month selling shit on Facebook Marketplace, which was really cool.
Dude, so the average 16-year-old, okay, I like 15 and a half, dude, I worked at Six Flags Marine World, and then I worked at like Foster Freeze, which was like a burger joint, and then finally Macy's Retail. Dude, at 16, you were making a few $1,000s online.
Well, to be fair, I was also doing those things as well. So I worked at Subway, JCPenney's, construction, all the good stuff too.
But dude, I love that.
Yeah.
That is such a good niche to go ahead. So, okay. So you went from there.
Yeah.
What was the next project or venture you dived into?
Yeah. So, like I said, I was going to Duquesne for track. Next company we started, which never really became like large, but was like a cool thing, was I really got into crypto. I was following like crypto prices 2016. We walk into 2017. I'm with a friend, Evan Gruce. We're at a basketball game, and we were just talking about crypto, and we're like, what if we just start like, buying crypto for our friends and family? What if we get them all kind of bought in? And so we were doing that. We had another friend at Carnegie Mellon, a really smart guy named Kay, and we all kind of got together, and we were like, oh, we could launch like an alternative to Bitcoin, and then that basically turned into us building the first decentralized hash exchange in the world. And basically what that is I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with like Bitcoin mining, but if you have like one miner, that's usually not enough like power to like really get any kind of reward. So you can rent power basically online. Wow. And the reason why being decentralized like means anything is because basically there was a competitor called NiceHash. They had all these funds flowing in and out of a centralized wallet, had like 80 million in it. It got hacked. All these people lost $80 million. And we were like, if this was peer-to-peer and we just took a little fee on the side, like it would solve that problem. There wouldn't be like one centralized vector to attack, so we started that. Yeah.
What was the first crypto you ever bought?
First crypto I ever bought, oh God, probably, and I'm ashamed to say this now because it's, but XRP, yeah, Ripple. Somehow it's still like one of those tokens that people love. Like I'll get calls from friends and they'll be like, my mom just asked me if she should buy $10,000 in Ripple. Like her friend from work said that she needs to put 10K in it. I'm like, dude, I don't even like Ripple.
Dude, it's up.
It is up. Everything's up. Everything's up. So,
so here is the $1 million question or multi-million-dollar question.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you think Bitcoin's going to end up, dude, as far as price?
This isn't financial advice, by the way.
No, it's not financial advice, guys. We're just two guys here chatting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it can be $1 million to several $1 million a coin.
Yeah.
I think like we are in this time where Donald Trump just got elected president,
yes.
and he and Cynthia Loomis, who's the senator in Wyoming, she's very pro crypto. Shout out to Cynthia. They want to start a Bitcoin reserve in the United States, and obviously there's nothing done concretely yet for that. Wow. But if that happens, I think the goal is to basically own over the next 5 to 10 years 5% of the Bitcoin supply and have that in like a reserve system, kind of like backing the dollar. And I think if they accomplish that, I think the minute they announce it, many other countries are going to adopt Bitcoin and kind of create their own strategic reserves. And I think it's going to go through the fucking moon. Yeah, no, it's going to be insane. And not only that, but I think I think most countries will hold strategic reserves, and those that don't will suffer because of it. Wow. And a hot take that I have is I think in the next 50 years, I think there will be a tier 1 country, like most likely European, and I think that they will be so in debt and they'll need a bailout. And I think that the person that bails them out will actually be a country that's adopted Bitcoin, that's maybe like tier 3, and they'll swap some sort of defense equipment for Bitcoin. That's my prediction.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some good intel, man. I like it. So, all right, into the millions of dollars. So people that right now, dude, like that have the Bitcoin, they should hold on to it forever.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm not selling anytime soon. So
no, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's solid advice because I know everybody right now is hitting me up like, hey, dude, like you still got the
when do you sell? When are you gonna sell?
When are you gonna sell? Should we sell now?
Yeah.
Like I got a buddy, man. He when it crashed.
Yeah.
What was it, like a year, 2 years ago, whatever?
Yeah.
He was like right under $1 million, dude. Right now he's probably like at 4.
Yeah.
Just because it's up.
Exactly.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like good for you.
You know when to buy crypto when everyone's talking about how it's dead.
Yeah.
That's if you're looking for a time to buy it, it's like, oh, crypto's dead. It's like, oh, I need to buy it. Like, yeah.
No, absolutely, man. And it's gonna change the world, dude.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's actually gonna replace cash? Like people are saying, like, oh, cash is dead. It's gonna go away. Crypto's gonna get rid of everything. What's your take on that, man?
I think that I think it could. I think like it's hard for people in America to understand the problems that crypto really solves for.
Yeah.
Like I tell my friends, they're like, well, like why? I just use my credit card. And I'm like, well, you have to understand, like the people that this is really solving a problem for are not in America. And I think like it's going to start with outside adoption, many other countries, and it'll kind of come back to the United States and come full circle, especially as we move towards like a global economy, right? It's like you need a way to like seamlessly pay anyone in the world instantly. And so like a lot of our engineers in India and we have a guy in Venezuela and France. We pay them in USDC, which is like a dollar pegged equivalent, backed by like treasuries and things. And I can pay them instantly, right? Like I actually pay them on Genius, so I can send them like their pay USDC on Genius instantly. There's no like 5-10 day wait. There's no like clearinghouse. There's none of that BS. It's like I send it to their wallet and that's it.
So essentially, your company that you co-founded right now, Genius, is an exchange where there is no middleman.
Exactly.
For basically the person that doesn't know what this is, because I'll probably have like a couple of my relatives being like, "Hey, Paul, man, you had that badass entrepreneur Ryan on there, dude, talking about his company Genius, but like, we want to know more about the company."
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
So, so how does that process work, dude? Like there's no middleman. So like, can you trust the other person that you know they're gonna give you like the actual, assets?
I think the best way kind of to start that topic would be going like basically talking about centralized exchanges and decentralized, and then kind of talking about how we're different, if that works.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you have Coinbase. Everyone's familiar with Coinbase.
Yep.
It's a centralized exchange, and basically they custody funds, right? So you put $100 on Coinbase, they're custodying those funds for you. So they're not like really yours. They're kind of, you're lending them to Coinbase. And so whenever you're buying things on Coinbase, the problem with centralized exchanges is, I'd say, two like main problems. The first problem is there's listing teams. So you can only buy what they tell you can buy, right? So they have to list certain things. And while that's good to some degree, it's like a lot of the opportunity space is like not on not on centralized exchanges or not on Coinbase, right? By the time that gets there, they're already like $50 billion+ tokens, right? And then the second thing is they can freeze your funds whenever you want. Like my co-founder Armand, he had his funds frozen in Coinbase for over a year. And it's just like it basically just proves the point that you don't like really own your money, and it goes into the problems with like third world countries as well, where it's like, a lot of these banks are corrupt and stuff. So it's like having like full custody of like the dollars that I send you is really meaningful to a lot of people.
Of course.
So that's like centralized exchange. Then we have decentralized exchange, which is, how's the best way to describe it? So there's a bunch of blockchains, and all these blockchains have different tokens. And so an example could be there's a blockchain specifically for real world assets, right? Where they tokenize real estate. And if you want to buy tokenized real estate, then you have to buy the tokens on their blockchain, but that's liquidity fragmentation, and so you can use an exchange on that specific blockchain, but like then you have to. There's a bunch of processes. Basically what I just said, it's complicated, more or less. So we're basically like, okay, this is great. Centralized exchanges kind of solve this, but then there's these caveats. So we were like, how can we build the best of both worlds? How can we allow you to basically have full custody of your funds, buy anything you want on any blockchain, without having liquidity fragmentation or gas fees? What the fuck's a gas fee, right? Signing transactions, all of these things that nobody cares to know about. They just want what they want.
Right.
And so that's what we've built. We've built the first platform that exists in the world that it basically is a liquidity orchestration layer across all blockchains that serves like an exchange where you can buy any token on any chain instantly, without worrying about gas fees and any of those other issues. So
you guys' problems to make it faster, simpler, and easier. And you guys cut out basically majority of the fees. And it's just easier for people to transfer crypto to another person. And did you guys keep this in mind for like more because you guys have a lot of like third-party vendors that you guys use for your businesses, like, in other countries? Is that who you're mainly targeting as far as like your avatar or your ideal client right now?
So right now, in full transparency, we're meme coins are really hot. And so we make it insanely easy to buy any meme coin. And so that's like the kind of initial, like most people that are...
That's the thought process. Because of like, would you say like social media has a lot to do with that? Like,
absolutely.
People on social media go on there. You got Elon Musk. He's like, hey, we're going to take it to the moon, dude.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, like how can we make it easier for, people to buy the meme coins?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. Cause it's like more or less it's like no different than sports gambling, right? It's like, but it's like betting on culture, kind of, right? Like all meme coins are cultural relevancies.
Yep.
Whether it be Doge and the Doge now with the Department of Government Efficiency, and like Pepe, and you have all these tokens, and there's a lot of meme coins like these that are, you know, valued a lot less right now.
Yeah.
And they'll eventually get centralized exchange listings. It's like, how can you give people access to these at their earliest stages? And so that's kind of what that's the number one reason for people using Genius right now. I think, like, you know, all of like these idealistic ideas that I have about like tokenization of real estate and all these things, they're happening behind the scenes, but they're not what people care about right now. And in other countries, that's not true. There's like what do they call them? The name escapes me, but basically they're just one-to-one pegs, giving like access to like U.S. stocks, for example, in like Ecuador or countries like that, where there's not like traditional financial systems that allow you to easily buy these. So you can buy basically like crypto pegs. So there could be like a Tesla coin, and the Tesla coin is basically like one-to-one mirroring Tesla stock. And the person that's issuing that Tesla coin is also holding Tesla stock on the back end as like the collateral for that. So like there's really interesting things, but I think that's all idealistic. And I think that like right now people like to gamble. Meme coins are fucking great. and yeah, so.
Yeah, well, why not capitalize in that market, man? I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are providing the service. Like I said, faster, easier, simpler. And I always tell people, hey, some of the most successful companies is just, you know, somebody copying a company that already exists, an industry that already exists, and just makes it easier, right?
For sure.
All right, Ryan. So what's your guys' vision, or what are you guys working on with Genius now?
Yeah. So I think like right now it's meme coins. Obviously, that's like our focus. But I think in the future, as everything kind of becomes global, I think there's going to need to be a global kind of exchange of value, because I think I'm of the opinion that a lot of things are going to be tokenized. So whether that be real estate, intellectual property, like everything's going to be tokenized to some degree. And there needs to be one place where you can go to like basically buy and sell, like the global exchange, kind of like how you have the stock exchange in New York. There needs to be that, but for this new global economy for tokens, and that's kind of what we're building. Yeah. Wow. And so if we can accomplish that, then we've done our job.
Dude, that's freaking phenomenal, man. So, dude, I love everything that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're crushing it right now. But one thing that caught my attention, brother, let's go back to the advice you were giving about Bitcoin and crypto, and then the election with Trump, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So something that, like, I know a lot of my listeners are probably like, what? Like, all right. If right now, let's say like my listeners have like, I don't know, let's say 10, 20, even $30,000 in liquidity to actually invest into some type of crypto, what would be your game plan? And once again, guys, this is not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
It's just two guys over here hanging out, just talking about crypto.
Yeah.
Right, in business.
Yeah.
So what would you do, dude, if you had like about 30 bands and you wanted to make some money right now?
Yeah, I think it depends on risk tolerance, obviously.
Yeah.
I think like the safer, more stable kind of native coins are like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I think the majority of my cash is in those three. So that's like the honest truth.
Yeah.
And then I think that everyone should keep a little dry powder to throw at some memes, you know? I think like whether we like it or not, and during the first cycle back in 2016, I thought Dogecoin was the stupidest thing. And then I realized, I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like culturally relevant, and therefore it's going to move. Like I literally opened a long at like 2 a.m. last night on Dogecoin, and I'm up like $3,000 when I checked on the Uber ride over here.
Ryan, so do you think like Dogecoin, like it went up just because of Elon?
I think Elon's a piece of it.
What was the cause? Like the main cause?
The catalyst right now over the last 72 hours is like Donald Trump becoming president, right?
Yeah.
Like Joe Biden and his administration and Gary Gensler. I have strong words for Gary Gensler. But their entire administration was very anti-crypto. And, they can say they weren't anti-crypto, but their actions said otherwise.
Yeah.
They were attacking crypto more than any administration had before. And so, at least...
And why is that?
I think it's like uncertainty. I think uncertainty is like a big piece. I also think that the Democratic Party generally hates things they can't control. And I think that I think Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so like crypto generally, I would actually say like crypto people in crypto specifically, like hardcore crypto people, it's like a mixture of like, tech guys, like social anarchists, like a bunch of weird, interesting people. And, it's split pretty down the middle. A lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans. And then Trump really took the initiative and was like, you know what? I am going to be like, work with Cynthia on this Bitcoin reserve plan. And, I think that crypto, like with proper regulation, like crypto can be this really meaningful thing, and it should happen in the United States. Because if not, the innovation is going to go outside of the United States. Like, even Coinbase, like, and Uniswap and some of these, like, enormous players that have been around for a while, Gary Gensler, this previous administration, attacking them left and right, and not even with credible things. It was basically just fluff to scare off people, and it's a shame. It really is. And so yeah, it's ridiculous. But so Trump gets elected, and the markets move. So like even in the last like 72 hours, like crypto, like I'll try to give you a specific, like ETH was at $2,400 72 hours ago, and right now it's sitting at $3,400.
Wow.
Great. Solana, same thing. Like everything's moving up and to the right. So, my friends are always asking me when's the best time to buy. I would say like right now. Right, even like with this week, right? Like I recommended friends buy yesterday specifically because yesterday was Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yesterday was Tuesday. So basically like CPI and a lot of these data points are coming out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so Tuesday basically was like the de-risking. Everyone was kind of de-risking. So markets pulled back. Sol went from like 225-ish to like 207-ish last night. But like, those are all nuances. Whenever Sol's at 500, you don't care if you bought at 207 or 215. It doesn't make a difference to you, right? Yeah. So I think like right now generally is great. We're going to have Trump go into office. And I think establish a lot of policies. We have Vivek, we have Elon, a lot of people that are pro-crypto, which is amazing, working in his administration. So I think that the next 4 years are going to be the 4 best years for crypto, generally speaking. Yeah.
And do you think we're going to hit 6 figures on Bitcoin before Trump actually takes over the office, man?
Yeah.
Just the way it is right now? Because I know
he gets elected, or he gets put in what, like 70-ish days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah, I think this is a hot take. I think we're going to hit 90K Bitcoin within the next 14 days, and I think we'll hit 100K by January 1st. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
I think we'll touch 100K. I think there will be a sell-off, though. Like, usually there's a sell-off in late December. Yeah.
And then how true do you think it is going to be with the reserves, man? Do you think that's going to be something that he's going to be able to do in the next 4 years, or is that something that's going to happen like eventually later on?
No, I think it'll happen within the next 4 years.
Wow.
I think it's I think honestly, I was very worried for this country. I mean,
everybody was.
Yeah. Just generally though, like with like the debt and things, like it's like reasonably, how can we sit here and like look at it and be like how does this go any other way than like just shitting the bed, right? And so I think that with the Elon and Vivek running the Department of Government Efficiency, if we can establish a Bitcoin reserve, I actually like have faith that like we can actually figure this out. They're like operating the country like a startup, and I think that's what needs to happen. It's become too bloated. And I think Kamala had like some interesting policies and like ways that she could like fix the country, but I think like anything that a politician says around fixing the country is mostly bullshit, right? But I think Trump actually is putting the necessary pieces in place to like legitimately fix the country, and I didn't actually expect it to happen, but he's already kind of doing that with like announcing yesterday like Doge and things. So I'm actually really excited to see kind of what happens, because even if we save like I don't even know what our deficit is at this point, but even if we can save $1 trillion a year and half of that goes into buying Bitcoin for a reserve, and then we have the rest of the world also accumulating Bitcoin, like I think that's like very cool. And I think that like it's our best shot at like not becoming the Roman Empire.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. No, I love that, man. So let's go back to Genius, man.
Yeah.
So with Genius, where do you guys see like it going as far as like growth, man? Like I know meme coins now.
Yeah.
But eventually, where do you see like your company going up to like in the next 5 years?
Yeah. I think within the next 5 years, we'll see a lot of different things that you can buy on chain. Mm-hmm. Some of them might be considered securities. Some of them might not be considered securities. But I do think there will be a lot of things that you can buy, a lot of tokens. And I think those tokens will have different types of value and people will want to participate in that.
Yeah.
I think the main use case for crypto more generally is like speculation. And I think that in the next 5 years, like my goal is to have 10 million people own crypto on Genius.
Yeah.
And like I said, like it doesn't even need to be on Genius per se because it's self-custodial, right? So you have a Genius account, you can export your private keys, and you can take that anywhere you want, right? It doesn't need to be specifically on the Genius platform. We can't control anything that you do with that crypto. Like if you want to send it, if you want, we can't freeze your funds, which is like super powerful and really cool.
That's huge, dude.
So
because I was so I have buddies that own like Bitcoin ATM companies.
yeah, it's amazing.
And dude, like regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh dude, it's massive, especially with the government, dude.
Yeah.
I remember like they would get shut down left to right in certain states, and then they would have to go and appeal it, and then and all that jazz. So it was very sticky. So the fact that you guys are able to swing that, I mean, that's remarkable.
I mean, I'm happy to talk about regulation if that's interesting.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah. So I think like kind of how we operate Genius, while it feels like an exchange, we're not technically an exchange. And so, as I mentioned, there's all these blockchains, there's liquidity on all of them. We basically orchestrate liquidity across all of these chains to make it easy for everyone else to use. So there's a bunch of complex BS that goes on in the background. And so there's like kind of two components to Genius. There's Shuttle Labs Incorporated, which is what I'm the co-founder of. And that's a Delaware C Corp. And basically we manage and develop the front end. Genius Protocol, which is basically the orchestration of everything, is managed and owned and operated by DAO based in the Cayman Islands. That's basically like this permissionless thing where anyone in the world can go build things on top of Genius Bridge Protocol. And they could build Genius, like they could build like what we've built on top of these open systems. And that's something that's really cool. And I'm excited about, like the same way that like people built the infrastructure for people to build all these payment infrastructure in the United States, right? How, you use Square to buy things. We've built basically the rails for anyone to do a similar thing in crypto, which is really cool. And we've also built like the car as well. So we've built our version of the car, but anyone can go build their version of the car as well. But regulation is super interesting, right? Like sexes have to have different licensing, but the way that we've built everything to this point, we've been able to do so in a way where we don't have to, we've been creative legally such that like we aren't an exchange per se. Like we're not like a licensed exchange because like we said, we're not custodying any assets. We're basically just helping you buy those things through orchestration. So yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, man. So let me ask you, Ryan, like what motivates you to keep going, dude? Like, cause like you're a serial entrepreneur, dude. You've been an entrepreneur since the age of 10, dude. It's just like, just talking to you, man. Besides the 3 companies that you built plus Genius, I mean, you've had dozens of different projects, dude. What keeps you want to keep going, dude? Like, because not everybody is motivated as you, dude.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm like super blessed to be able to like have fun doing what I do, right? And I think I have a lot of people in my life that don't have fun doing what they do.
Yeah.
And so I think generally it's like one of those things where I love to build things that people like to use. Right. I think Genius is one of those things. Like we have thousands of people that use it every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. And if something's not working, I get 100 texts when I wake up in the morning, including this morning. And we go and fix it. But it means people are using it, and that's amazing, right? Like I'm blessed for people to use things that I've built. Like I mentioned to you earlier, like we have a Figma plugin. We built the first generative AI Figma plugin. Which Figma is like a design software like Photoshop.
Yep.
And yeah, you're familiar. And 50,000 people use it, which is sick. And so like, I think like part of the motivation is like, one day I want to be able to walk down the street with a Genius hoodie on and people know what that is and like be like, oh, like, I made $10,000 from my Genius account. Like that's like what I'm like yearning for. But I don't think I'll ever stop. I think like people that retire die. So
no, same, dude. Same. I will never retire.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for fulfillment, dude. That's what it's about. It's more of like the journey.
Exactly.
Just like you were saying, dude. Like how sometimes like you'll team up with the other developers and your co-founders, and you guys will just work.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, dude. Building that culture, right?
Exactly.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who is trying to actually build a business in your industry, dude. And like they're just getting friends, family, just being super negative about that, dude. Like what has helped you and your mindset, like to keep going, to get up, dude, and like stay resilient on building? Because sometimes not every day is going to be motivating, right?
Yeah.
So what type of advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, you just have to be okay with being crazy, I guess, or like the view that people think you're crazy. Especially like in crypto, you know, I feel like crypto is one of the most cyclical industries. So like the last 2 years, it's been really tough, right?
Yeah.
Like there's been some like super low points even for me, where it's just like, you know, you get up in the morning and you're like, what am I doing? You know, you have friends building an AI and all these other things, and you're like, you know, but whenever things move, everything's fantastic.
Right.
So it is super tough. It's really hard to stay motivated during those low points, but if you can push through it, like I think you can come out on the other side. In crypto specifically too, like just building businesses in crypto. If you want to build a business in crypto, it's really interesting because business and companies and things like they don't operate like normal companies do in like the typical internet world or in real life. Kind of, it's kind of like this weird, and I think that'll change over time. But like whenever you talk to investors, right? Like they only care about like when you're going to launch a token. Like if you like, it's crazy, and it's kind of messed up, but it makes sense, right? Like you'll see like a lot of venture funds have kind of two, like it's actually really popular for venture funds to have two funds, one specifically in crypto and then one in like a more archaic industry that has longer return on investment cycles, because crypto, like the path to liquidity is much shorter. So it's a way for them to kind of average that out to like what you'd consider like a typical like internet fund, like Sequoia or something, right? So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, you just basically have to throw away all fundamental principles of business that you know for crypto specifically. It's crazy.
So, all right, what would you go ahead and let's say if somebody wanted to start investing into crypto right now, what would be a couple of books? Like either like you could go like 1 to 3 books, dude, that people could start reading right now. Because I always tell people this, dude, like I've been a serial entrepreneur my entire life, but I got stuck at the 9 to 5, you know, like rat race, dude, because like I just feel like I just wasn't around the right environment. And books is actually, it sounds cliche, but books is what really changed my life.
Yeah.
So is there any books that people can read on, dude? Or like, what would you recommend? Like due diligence, like market research, like if like a complete newbie that wants to learn to invest into crypto, man, especially right now. Dude, I mean, January's around the corner, dude, 70 days, right?
That is, yeah.
So, you know, best time to invest, but I want to educate the folks that are listening to this and watching this, man.
Yeah. So I'll be candid. I don't read books.
That's all good.
I read a lot. I read like the Wall Street Journal and the Information every day. I read a lot of things every day, but I don't read like traditional books. And I actually would not recommend reading traditional books for crypto specifically, just because the industry moves so fast. By the time that you'd actually publish a book, it'd probably be outdated, which is crazy. But I think there's like 2 really good places to get information on crypto. The first is a research platform called Masari.io. It's a company I actually think they're based in Miami, but they're entirely like based on research. They have a lot of reports. They have a lot of like everything that you could possibly want. It's there. There's also a newsletter. What's the newsletter called? I'll give it to you after this. Milk Road, milkroad.com. Milk Road, yeah. It's a carton of milk, but it's a fantastic newsletter for crypto, people that are just getting into crypto. They have like 300,000 subscribers. It was really good during the last kind of bull cycle.
I love that.
2021, it was really popular. And then a third thing is just being involved. Like I think so much of crypto is like the culture of the different internet spaces that you're in. And so I'd specifically recommend Twitter. Like if you're not on Twitter, or if you are on Twitter, engaging with like accounts like, I have to be careful with this one. There's an account, our account, Genius Terminal. We kind of talk a lot about things, but also like there's like more culturally relevant people like at Kobe, COBIE, or at Ansem, who are like big kind of influencers in this space, but it gives you a good pulse on like the culture of crypto and kind of what things are going on in the space. Yeah. And you need that because it does move so fast. Like you have like ZK, you have like all these things that I honestly don't even know a lot about because it's just moving all the time. And so it's like, I know what I know about like my very specific thing, but if I tried to keep up with everything, I'd lose my mind, I think.
No, absolutely. And then any insider tips, dude, like on what's the next biggest thing in crypto?
Insider tips. I can't say I have insider tips per se, but I think that I think in crypto specifically, the best thing that you can invest in is a cult. And so like Dogecoin has established a cult, and I think you also like there's a bunch of coins that have established cults that aren't listed on centralized exchanges.
When you say cult, what do you mean by cult?
Cult, like just people that are like insane.
They're about it.
Yeah, like mentally ill, kind of. Like I'm and I don't even like I'm being like genuine. Like it's like there's some like serious. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. But yes, like true like insanely passionate about like that meme, and they do exist. There's one right now that's really popular. It's called Giga, and it's like the Giga Chad with the huge chin, and people were like insanely passionate about it. Wow. I think that's gonna be a big one this cycle. And then another one, I don't know if I should say it, but it's called Retardio. It's how you spell it. And the community behind it, it's an NFT, which they call Cousins, and then a coin, and it's like the most insane cult that I'm personally a part of. And these people are nuts. They're literally insane, but like because of that, like they get other people to have equal conviction in it. And that's kind of how you create like a Doge effect. And so like personally, I hold an irresponsible amount of money in Retardio.
So influence has a lot to do with the meme coins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, meme coins are everything right now. Like I think last cycle we saw NFTs be super popular, and I think the problem with NFTs more generally was they were a fun tool for speculation, but I personally don't like find them super useful, right? But they were good for speculation. And so on the other side of things, right, on meme coins, I think they're basically saying, you know what, we're going to create the same level of speculation, but we're not going to try and attach some like arbitrary value to it, right? It's just like it is what it is, accepting that it is just a means of speculation. Yeah.
Right. No, that makes total sense, man.
Yeah.
So where can people find you, man?
Yeah. People can find us at tradegenius.com. And if you go, we'll create an account, or we'll create a referral code for you if you want your users, and we can give users free crypto or something. That could be fun. But tradegenius.com. My Instagram's at Ryan Myher. Yeah, those are like the main points. Yeah.
Guys, so follow Ryan Myher on Instagram and on his Genius platform. Guys, he's just offering some free crypto for you guys. Okay, guys? Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. So we'll make sure to drop the link in the bio, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like this episode. And if you know anyone who's interested in the crypto space with the politics that's going on with Donald Trump, guys, this is the episode to actually have them listen to and tune in. It's going to blow up. It's going to go viral. I already know. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Take care. This is the Level Up Podcast with Paul Alex. We'll catch you guys on the next one.